Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about, can you really be yourself? Can you truly be yourself? And I think the answer is no. I want to say the answer is no. That's my answer for right now. Maybe it'll change throughout my life. Maybe I'll think differently after I make and post this video. But I posted on my Instagram saying that you have to control your emotions because everybody's acting, and somebody responded saying, you know, it's a shame because all I want to do is just be myself and be authentic and really show who I am to the world. And I responded saying, you know, I totally get that. And I feel the same way. I felt the same way for a while, but unfortunately we live in a world where people operate within their best self-interests and a world that isn't fair. So doing that doesn't really serve you. It just sets you up for getting hurt. And I just wanted to make a video about it because I think it's fair to want to be authentic and be your true self. And I think that there are times and instances where you can do that. And I think that it's beneficial sometimes to do that. But I think for the most part, being yourself is just not really, I don't know. I don't think that you're able to do that unless you're in a position of power, if I'm being honest. Like if you are in a position where you are dependent on others or you're dependent on something, I really don't feel like you can be yourself, because you kind of have to be strategic with what you say and what you do, so to speak. And even still, I think asking the question too, like, who are you? You know, what does it mean to be yourself? Does that extend to your own thoughts and opinions and behaviors? Does it extend to what you were taught growing up? Does it extend, like, you know, how far and how deep does it actually go to be yourself? So that's just something I'm thinking about. I think I'm working it out too in real time as I'm like making this video. But yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know. I've been reading, like, you know, just certain books about like emotional control, and just I've read the 48 Laws of Power, which I know some people have a lot of thoughts on. And even in that book, like I discussed with someone online, someone said like, oh, you know, I wanted to read that book, but I just couldn't get along with this law, or this law just was so unethical that I just couldn't, you know, I couldn't keep reading the book. And I'm just like, well, in the beginning he says, you know, and I think it's true what Robert Greene says in the beginning, and he has a whole preface to where he says, you know, it doesn't matter if you think these laws are ethical or not, because there are people who play by these rules. And he was basically saying like, opting out is not an option, not playing the game is not an option. Everybody is playing the game. It's just, you know, whether or not you're on the side with power or the side without power. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting how sometimes we view things. And I think like I struggle with being myself, maybe not like in these videos or like, you know, with the things that I necessarily create, but I think in my genuine everyday life, like interactions, I do kind of struggle with that, because there are parts of me that I'm still working on that react as opposed to responding. And there's parts of me that think certain things that I am now recognizing and realizing that aren't true. So like, what's an example? Like, I think I've said it before in a video about like meeting new people. Like I told myself, okay, I want to meet new people, be more open to relationships and friendships and things like that. But I would get very standoffish when people would approach me. And it's just like, I know the real me wants to be friendly and wants to be nice, you know, to a certain extent, obviously, but wants to be friendly, wants to be nice, and wants to nurture new relationships with others. And so the part of me that like wants to shut off isn't really me necessarily, but it's something that I've developed as like a defense mechanism, right? So I don't know. It's just like, when can you really be yourself? That's really what I'm asking. Because I don't feel like anybody's being themselves. I feel like people are almost always putting up a front, putting up a facade. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, I don't think everybody deserves you. I don't think everybody deserves to know every fear and every deep dark secret. And I've always been like a private person, and you know, people tell me that all the time, but I just never, like, you know, there are points where I wasn't private and where I would share everything. So it's just like finding that balance. Like, that question really got me thinking, because I'm just like, okay, I need to find the balance now between like who I was before and who I want to be now. And like, I need to understand that like there's power at play. Like, you can't just really, in my opinion, you can't just really be yourself all the time, 100% of the time. Like, it's not, I don't know. I feel like there are times where you should acclimate and assimilate to the environment and the people around you, you know, in a strategic way. I feel like there's times where, you know, you can't fully be yourself because maybe you need to play the long game, you know, or even at work, it's just like you can't fully be yourself. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? I would love to know. I don't want to like beat a dead horse by going on and on and on, you know, about my thoughts. But yeah, that's just a discussion that I had in my mind for today. And I would love to know your guys' thoughts. Like, are you yourself? Are you yourself around your family? Are you yourself around your friends, you know, all the time? Are you changing? Like, if something about you changes, does that mean that you're not being yourself anymore because people hold a certain persona of you in their mind? Like, what do you guys think? I would love to know. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.